Welcome, you're watching Vox News, your daily news updates with Rita Kamkumo. Our headlines today: Ugandan troops block a United States envoy from visiting opposition presidential candidate Bobi Wine, who has been under house arrest since last week. The Constitutional Court confirms the re-election of Central African Republic's President Faustin Touadéra. Schools reopen in Ghana after 10 months of closure due to the coronavirus pandemic. Our top story today: Ugandan soldiers on Monday blocked a United States envoy from visiting the house of opposition presidential candidate Bobi Wine in the capital, Kampala. Wine, who is considered the real victor of the election by his supporters, officially finished second last week but dismissed the election, officially won by President Yoweri Museveni, as a complete sham, denouncing violence and electoral fraud. The United States Embassy stated that the purpose of Ambassador Natalie Brown's visit, as part of diplomatic ties, was to check on Wine's health and safety, given that he's effectively been unable to leave his home since he went out to vote last Thursday, with security forces still surrounding his residence. Ugandan authorities, however, denounced this Tuesday an attempt at subverting the outcome of Thursday's election by Washington. Meanwhile, in Uganda, people expressed joy and relief after the internet was partially restored in the country nearly 5 days after the authorities imposed a shutdown ahead of the presidential election, which the opposition says was rigged.
I feel good because I've been offline like for almost a week, so I feel so good that now we are on, like the internet has come back. I missed my WhatsApp, my friends. I could chat with my friends on WhatsApp, on Facebook, chat with my long friends outside abroad. So when the internet came back, so I'm so happy.
The coming back of the internet is exciting, but if you go back to the issue of security, it is really not bad switching off the internet in order to keep the people in the country calm.
For the last 4 to 5 days, it has been really very bad. In terms even of communicating to like friends, family members, there is a lot that we've lost.
Despite the gradual lifting of the unprecedented internet shutdown in Uganda, social media continues to be banned, and how long the restrictions will remain in place is not clear. Civil society, as well as human rights groups, have chastised the authorities for restraining communication. In the Central African Republic, the Constitutional Court on Monday confirmed Faustin Touadéra's victory in the presidential election last month, despite a voter turnout which was little more than a third due to suppression by a coalition of armed groups.
The candidate Faustin Touadéra, having obtained an absolute majority of the votes validity cast, is declared elected in the first round President of the Republic.
Touadéra supporters in the capital Bangui rejoiced over his re-election for a second term, despite the rebels' attempt at hindering the vote.
Very happy with the re-election of the head of state, Mr. Touadéra. He is a man who has started to do well, and we think he will continue to do well until the last moment. You see what's happening. The people are with him, despite the rebels, despite the CPC. The president has been re-elected. So congratulations to Touadéra. Thank you very much, and good luck to him.
We are already living with this fear. The fact that they wanted to boycott, they wanted to hinder this election, and we stood our ground. The fear is there, but we are Central Africans and proud of it. This country belongs to us. It is not the country of a single individual. It is a country of all Central Africans, and the head of state, as the supreme head of the armies, as the first authority of this country, can take its responsibilities so that peace can return and people can live in this peace.
President Faustin Touadéra on Monday greeted his supporters after the court's verdict, saying that those who tried to prevent the vote from taking place had failed.
Should those who have prevented Central Africans from exercising their civic duty, who have prevented Central Africans from choosing their leaders, have been proven right? Should we agree with them? I do not think so. The process has not been easy. There have been many challenges, together with the international community, but also the Central African people who have shown their capacity, resilience, and willingness to say no to violence, to the seizure of power by force of arms, and challenged all those who, through intimidation and violence, prevented them from carrying out their duties.
Meanwhile, rebel groups killed 2 peacekeepers in the Central African Republic on Monday, according to the United Nations peacekeeping mission in the country, only a few hours after the Constitutional Court confirmed Touadéra's re-election. On the education front, schools in Ghana reopened on Monday for the 2020-2021 academic calendar after 10 months of closure due to the coronavirus pandemic, a relief for students who struggled to make time for learning at home.
You don't make time for learning unless maybe those students who are passionate and they know what they really want to do. So going back to school is very helpful. It's going to allow us to restart everything and we are going to get our academic life back on track.
The children being at home is not easy. With their age 18, 17, 16 years old, it's really difficult to control them. So them being at home become much more difficult to handle for me and still go to work.
It will affect their educational background. The children, some of them have even forgotten there was something called school. And I think it is now our duty to bring them up, to revive them. Psychologically, mentally, and everything.
I nearly lost my job because of the COVID, because I have to sit in the house. But you know, when you are working, you can't always give excuse because of your children. So I nearly lost my job. But my boss visited me and said, "Wow, your children." I said, "Because of." So we have to help the teachers so that we all feel free and go to our work.
Classes resumed across the country under coronavirus safety guidelines and despite a reported rise in positive cases in the country. On the security front, at least 130 people died in 3 days of clashes in Sudan's restive Darfur region. Local authorities said on Monday that clashes between rival ethnic groups in the area had left 47 dead. The announcement came a day after at least 83 people died in separate clashes over the weekend in the restive area. Among the key issues are land ownership and access to water. The killings took place just more than 2 weeks since a long-running peacekeeping mission ended its operations in the country, marked by decades of civil war. In Tunisia, the authorities said on Monday that they had arrested over 600 people and deployed troops after a third consecutive night of riots, mostly carried out by young people in working-class districts in several cities across the country. The unrest comes at a time of economic crisis worsened by the coronavirus pandemic that has caused rapid inflation and high youth unemployment. President Kais Saied on Monday met with the residents of Etadanem City, a suburb near the capital Tunis, to speak to the youth.
The youth of Tunisia have never been thieves. People want to employ the youth who would like to serve. Do not attack or insult anyone, nor damage a private property or state institutions.
The unrest erupted despite a nationwide coronavirus lockdown declared last Thursday, the day that also marked a decade since protesters forced former leader Zine El Abidine Ben Ali's fall from power. Last but not least, Egypt on Sunday unveiled ancient treasures found at the Saqqara archaeological site near the capital city, Cairo, including sarcophagi more than 3,000 years old.
In 2010, we found a pyramid of a queen, but we never know the name of the queen. Only yesterday, we found a temple for the pyramid, and we found the name of the queen. Her name was Nit. first time to know this name of the queen in the Old Kingdom. Kuwait was the wife and the daughter of King Teti, and this is the first time that we know that a king could marry his daughter, because only kings can do that, because Osiris married Isis. But we know about this practice in the New Kingdom only. But this is the first time that we have evidence about the marriage between the king and his daughter in the Old Kingdom. And we found a papyri 5 meters long beside one of the coffins. One of the coffins belonged to a soldier. We found the axe that he used to fight. We found also games like the Senate game. If you win, you go to the other world, to the field of Yarrow. This is paradise of ancient Egypt. The
Saqqara archaeological site, where the ancient treasures were found, is a vast necropolis of the ancient Egyptian capital of Memphis, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that houses over a dozen pyramids, ancient monasteries, and animal burial sites. That's it for today. Thank you for watching Vox News.